Hi, I'm Jonathan Chastain. I'm here in Brighton to meet a couple of the exhibitors who are going to be at the Future Tech Now show before heading off to London to meet Vision 360. On the first day, April 5th, there will be a full day's worth of conferences devoted to how VR and AR can positively impact British enterprise. The lineup includes panellists from the Institute of Directors, the Department of Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy, Accenture, Factory 2050, Open University and High Speed Rail 2. Regardless of your views of Brexit, the UK could be facing a skills crisis, according to the CBI. In terms of productivity, we lag behind other European countries, and everyone needs to prepare for radical change in the way we learn, train, produce, and prepare for the fourth industrial revolution. This B2B event is for anyone in business, whether you're in retail, construction, learning, or development, that wants to learn how VR and AR can be used to enhance training, attract talent, save costs, boost productivity, and reduce risk. First, I'm going to meet Make Real to see what they will bring to the show. Tell me a little bit about Make Real and what you do here.
Make Real is a company that has been specialising in immersive content for training, learning and simulation for nearly 12 years now. Some of the enterprise projects that we're going to be demonstrating at Future Tech Now will be some of the work we've completed for EDF Energy, some of the projects we've created or prototypes leading up to the full projects for Vodafone, as well as a college in Essex, Basildon, Essex, called ProCat, where there'll be a series of electrical, plumbing and refrigeration and aircon maintenance assessment tools all in VR. For Make Real, enterprise is very much the primary growth area for the focus of most of our what we call, profitable work that sees us through each year. It's grown exponentially since the commercial launch of all the headsets, and actual units are available at high numbers with support, warranty and maintenance and everything else that corporates, procurement departments are very interested in.
So at the moment, one of the projects I just tried, you were talking about how it was integrated into the LMS. At what point do you think that virtual and augmented reality experiences will be highly integrated into the current learning and development programs of companies and career advancement, etc.?
In terms of how immersive tech and especially virtual reality applications currently, how they fit into a corporate learning and management system, it's very much just because of the nature of LMSs and what is typically installed corporate-wide currently, web-based, Moodle-based, that kind of thing. Although it's all SCORM compliant, which we can create content, SCORM being the Shareable Content Object Reference model, we can create content that is SCORM compliant and will output the data to be fed into an LMS. At the moment, the way that we share and the way that corporates can assign a learning module application to an employee or to a learner and how they can launch it, that is still a bit fiddly and a bit of a mess at the moment. But then also SCORM only ever goes so far in terms of the amount of user metrics and data we can track, whether they've started it, what their username is, how long they've taken, what their score is. But obviously when we're working with VR, you can track so much more data, where they're looking heat maps, interaction times, confidence of interactions.
There's a lot of talk that virtual and augmented reality can increase productivity, boost memory recall. What results, quantifiable results, have you had with some of the projects that you've done?
EDF have a one-day training course about the fundamentals of nuclear power. Every single one of their staff has to go through it. They've fed back that with these additional practical learn by doing VR experiences, they've seen their average pass rate go from 50 to 75%. So save 2 hours, 25% increase in retention and knowledge, and across 16,000 staff. They're obviously very, very happy with the impact of VR and immersive technologies.
So I'm now here with Tim Fleming, who's the co-founder of the company Future Visual.
The product we built for IATA, Ramp VR, was the way it fitted in with their training. It wasn't an actual learning tool. It was a testing tool. So these are people and students who traditionally have couple of days training. What actually happens in real life is they sort of learn more on the job, because you can have a lot of theory training, but it's not until you're actually in real life and those scenarios that are kind of out of the normal occur that's the first time you'll actually experience them. And what IATA were finding was that trainees would only be able to cope with those situations if there were kind of more senior people around. So what we're doing with VR is giving trainees access to sort of high pressure, high stress situations before they experience them in real life. So it really fits together as part of a blended learning package.
Okay, so where could this go? I mean, obviously there's future technologies like artificial intelligence, 5G, Internet of Things. Could some of these elements be incorporated into projects like we've just seen into the future? Yeah,
I mean, there's two things you've touched on there, which is artificial intelligence and LMS integration. I mean, since we started Future Visual, something we've been really excited about is the ability for the work we create to actually count against people's final assessment in a regulatory body, i.e. the worlds we build are good enough quality that people can go, yes, if people have trained on this in VR, then it counts towards their kind of final qualification. So we've done a lot of work in aviation, and obviously as flight crew, there's a huge number of hours you have to undertake, and a quite big expense, and just access to aircraft is difficult. So this is a recurring theme for us, is access to these high stress situations that normally come right at the very end of training, and we're hoping to bring those further kind of earlier into people's experiences. And with the multiplayer work we've been doing, you can actually work together as a team, and if one of your colleagues makes an error in VR, or as you mentioned, artificial intelligence, if we're able to bring in adaptive learning avatars and AI agents, and they purposely put in errors as one of your team members or your crew members, how will you react to that? So we think we can bring kind of much more specialist, high value learning much further up the kind of path of someone's training.
With enterprise and engineering training, learning, development, everything, do you think that Britain right now, there is an opportunity with potential skill shortages? We already, even before the Brexit vote, have an issue in productivity. Do you think in one way these problems are actually opportunities for companies like Future Visual, who can actually use this technology to boost skills and boost productivity?
Yeah, I think there's a real opportunity for Britain. I think traditionally we've had a sort of attitude of embracing technological advances very quickly. We're not sort of sitting around waiting to be some part of some large organisational environment or large organisational lab. People who have the skills have grabbed the tech and gone, great, I can do amazing work with this. And because you've got smaller companies like ourselves kind of running quite fast down the development path and really tackling problems and doing research and spending time on areas that companies from bigger organizations might not be embracing for a couple of years. We're able to show up as these smaller companies and go, look what's possible. And rather than large companies sort of wanting to white label smaller companies, which has traditionally been a sort of working practice, they're saying to us, okay, well, we want you on board as an expert partner. We can't fake it. We can't pretend we know about immersive learning. You guys have really been working on this hard. We're trying to find problems, which largely come down to saving time and improving performance. And if we can go into companies and demonstrate that we can do that with VR and immersive tech, then we're getting a really warm welcome. And I think there is a great opportunity for Britain in this field.